TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061.
Listen, we are live. The Talk Show Kings are back, man. Y'all didn't know before. You're gonna learn today.
The thing about coronavirus is it doesn't care if you're black or white.
It doesn't.
It does not care if you're rich or poor. It does not exclude if you're a Republican or a Democrat.
I'm taking it as it becoming a hostile environment.
I couldn't even go to the restroom. I would crawl to the restroom and hold the walls to not fall off of the restroom. I couldn't stand up to get in my bed because I seriously thought I was dying.
Hey, what's going on, man? Listen, welcome back to another edition of the Talk Show Kings. We're bringing it live and direct to you guys, man. Got some great topics lined up. But before we even get into the show, I'm going to let the Kings get into themselves. Starting over to my far left over here, we got...
Welcome, family. It's your boy ATL Doc coming at you from Douglasville, Georgia, having big fun on TV 1061. That's right.
Shout out family worldwide. My name is Trevor David. Brooklyn represent.
Yeah,
Brooklyn to Bangkok.
Yeah.
Want to shout out Shown Up Hobo Scratch.
Hey.
Whoever he is. Shown up with us. He's shown up with us.
Hey,
Shout out.
yeah, you got it.
What's up, y'all? We're going to have a good show. Thanks for being with
We
us.
love the name, bro.
All right, hey, what's going on? I'm King Lundy, the one and only. Hey, how you doing? I am so glad that you all took this opportunity at 6:31 to be here with us. Lay back and welcome to the show.
King Swag.
Yes, sir. And
Big
your boy,
on.
Mel, right here. I'm King Mel. Listen, I just want you guys to know that we appreciate you guys tuning in. And as always, we're going to try to give you guys the best show possible. But let's go ahead and jump right into it.
Mel showing the arms off. Hercules. Okay.
No, man, but listen, let's go ahead and jump right into the subjects, man. Listen, we just want to get into this right here today. We're talking about how the Black Lives Matter movement has affected the way that we fight around here as far as, you know, for freedom and everything else, man. I think it's been a real powerful movement. I mean, yeah, everything has its hiccups here and there. You have your radicals here to do some outrageously stupid things. But nonetheless, man, I don't think that it should, you know, have any effect on how powerful the movement has been, man. You know, I feel like this thing has showed us, not just as black people, but as American people, how it should be done. How when there's an injustice to anyone, it's an injustice everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It just is. But, you know, I am proud to be black.
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you had me feeling some kind of way, bro.
Hey, go ahead on, jump right into how you feel about it, Doc.
I agree with a lot of the statements that King Mel made in that there was such a unity. There was such a crowds of all races, of ages. I mean, people didn't care about sexuality. It was about freedom. It was about stop oppressing people. And people get angry and say, well, Black Lives Matter, and we want to compare them to Antifa and the KKK, which completely makes no sense to me. Because although people are afraid of Antifa, and according to them, the Black Lives Matter, the KKK has 3,000 dead bodies. Nobody else has that. So please, don't let your irrational fear make you make ridiculous comparisons. However, as I was saying at first, the large movement where people join together, where people are saying, we're tired of the nonsense. That is how we do it. That is America. That is the dream of America, where regardless of who you are, right is right and wrong is wrong, where you have opportunity to aspire to be whatever you want to be, and no one holds you back. Your life matters simply because you're an American.
Let's talk a little bit about the history of Black Lives Matter, because I didn't know anything about the history of it. Now you might think Black Lives Matter has been with us forever, because you don't think so. It feels to me like it's been around forever. I don't really remember a time that they weren't here. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the history. But you go ahead, King.
I feel like this is just another arm of, where black people have been fighting from way back in the day. You had the Black Panther Party. You had, before gangs got to how they were, before they became Bloods and Crips and everything with Stanley Tookie Williams and everybody, they set that up to protect the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
So, where you see a lot of gang violence or whatever, that's just not the history of it, We were trying to protect our neighborhoods from people who wanted to come in and do harm to the community and weren't going to allow that.
The Black Panthers actually started over a street light. They kept petitioning for a street light because there was an intersection where there were a lot of accidents, and the government wouldn't do anything about it. That's actually how the Black Panthers began, because people started trying to patrol that area to keep people from hurting each other.
Well, I'm sorry, King Leonard, were you going to say something?
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say the Black Lives Matter, it started immediately after George Zimmerman was found innocent of killing Trayvon in Florida in 2013. These three sisters started hashtagging Black Lives Matter and spreading it all over social media before there were any protests, before anybody even knew what they were.
Absolutely.
Then Michael Brown was killed in Ferguson. Then there were protests in Ferguson, and those black people out there started saying, hey, Black Lives Matter. Then Eric Garner was acquitted in New York. That was the cat that in New York was put in chokehold.
The guy that copped and killed him.
Yeah, he was selling cigarettes outside the store.
And after he was killed, then the Black Lives Matter actually sort of became like a political group where they had rules and regulations and stuff. So it started in 2013 by these three sisters, and then it grew from there. And then it became world famous this year when they killed George Floyd.
Yes.
Also,
20 million people.
Right. From the very existence that Black Lives Matter formulated, it was built to give black people courage, to give us better insight, to help us follow the news, to help us know what's going on in our communities. And what better organization to do that than Black Lives Matter, because it gave black people an opportunity, a wide-eyed vision to say, well, my life matters, your life matters, and Eric Garner's life matters, and Mike Brown's life matters, and Trayvon Martin's life matters. And now that they're doing that, I feel the exact same way. My life matters as well.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes,
Let me
sir.
ask all y'all a question. And this is part of the controversy. There are no White Lives Matter groups. There's no Hispanic Lives Matter.
Yeah.
There's no Chinese Lives Matter. Why do you think we need a special group named Black Lives Matter to make our point that Black Lives Matter?
White lives have had a group for years. They're just called the KKK.
They're called the police.
Absolutely.
They're called the government.
They're called the United States Senate.
They're called corporations. They're called the United States Senate.
And with that said, a lot of these, and I watched Kelly Loeffler during the debate called Raphael Warner a liberal and a radical. She should have reversed that, because a lot of the Republicans and a lot of the groups that's out there are very liberal and they're very radical in their approach to doing stuff in the community and in society, as far as I'm concerned.
But see,
when you were describing Black Lives Matter, I'm agreeing with your statement, but I think it goes further, because I think it was more of a statement to just everybody that you can't keep killing people. Because although we're saying Black Lives Matter, it's about life. It's about nobody can be just killed senselessly
and
without
yeah.
any kind of repercussions. The reason that I feel there's no white lives matter, there's no Asian lives matter, things of that nature, because their governments of those countries will stand by those people. When a white person is killed in America, there is repercussions. We're not saying that nobody black will ever be killed after that, but we're saying that if somebody's killed unjustly, then there should be repercussions.
Then it should matter.
It's just about justice.
Exactly.
matter,
It's
but-
about justice. It's about, okay, let's not say that somebody can just go around killing people. When the mother dropped the son off with a rifle, an assault rifle, and he killed somebody, then the crowd attacked him, and he walked by the police with the rifle, that he killed somebody.
Right.
And nobody did anything.
Nobody did nothing.
Exactly.
Right.
Everybody knows
There
that
has
wouldn't have worked if that was
never
an
been
American,
equal-
African
But
American.
there has never been equal justice for us
And that's
ever.
and that's why
And that's the thing.
Absolutely.
and that's
That's
why
still
all
justice.
lives matters and
Right.
all these protests happen. Is because it's not about trying to say that we matter more than anybody else. It's that we matter just as
Yeah.
much as everybody
That's
else.
exactly what it's saying.
And
but
we're not. No, the saying is not Black lives are superior.
No.
The saying is not Black lives matter more than anyone else.
No.
It's that we matter. Period.
But that's
you know.
not
And
how
then
it's
why
gonna
would
be
you get
said.
upset for saying we matter?
I mean, when you think about it, man, I always think that when I hear people say all lives matter, right?
Right.
I think that's an insult to our intelligence. You know what I mean? We know that all lives matter, like you said. But the fact that you guys treat us as though our lives don't matter as much as the next person is the problem. You know, I sit back and I watch all of these people, and what was the girl, Laura Ingraham, that told LeBron to shut up and dribble, right? Here's a man, right, who you told to shut up and dribble because he feels a certain type of way because people with the same skin color as him are being treated unjustly, right? Even with the money that he has, people are breaking in and spray painting on his house or fence or whatever the case may be, right? I just do not think that people take us seriously. And that's where this whole movement has come from. Now, think about it. If we turned around and we went and hunted white people and hung them like they hung us, you've never seen us hanging your kids, your husbands, your wives, your whatever. You know what I'm saying? You don't see us doing that. You don't see us.
We're 13% of the population.
Exactly.
And it seems like people forget that
Yeah.
when people start talking about wars and things of that
Exactly.
nature. It makes no sense because we don't have free access to weaponry. We don't have free access to bullets. We don't even have free access to food.
We don't.
How can we do a war and we can't feed ourselves?
What
So
was
that's irrational.
What was it,
An
Tulsa,
irrational.
Yeah.
Wasn't it Tulsa, Oklahoma, where they had the where they
yeah.
had Black
There-
Wall Street?
Well, there was
This is
more
the
than
on- yeah,
there
but-
was a lot more places than that.
Well,
That's just the
we
most
call
popular
we
one.
called it Black
And
Wall. That was the most populated and well-to-do city with black people at that time. But what I'm saying aren't we have to be the only country that would bomb our own people on our own soil?
No, but that was the first time
the
that.
Palestinians been
Yeah.
doing it for years.
But
What we're
that's
talking about
That's the
over here.
first.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
That was the first time in America
about
that
that.
bombs
Right.
had been dropped off an aircraft.
Yeah.
Or in America.
In America, that's what I'm saying.
and
You
it was
hated
on the
us that
peaceful
much
people.
that you were willing to drop bombs on us,
Right.
But
on the soil that we helped fight for,
Well,
on the soil that we helped
that's
build.
that's another thing I was trying to
Come
get to is that African Americans have fought in every war for America.
Mm-hmm.
There has never been a war in America for America that African Americans weren't readily available and fighting in the war to support America.
Now,
Were you
does
about to say
Black
something?
Lives Matter go that far? Does it? Does Black lives go to the military? Does Black lives go to South Africa? Does it go to a lot of the places
Well-
that don't even know about Black lives?
Well, let
Matter?
me answer
Well,
that.
it spread worldwide.
Yeah, let me answer that. That's what I was going to say. Let me
Right.
answer that in one way. When George Floyd was killed,
Right.
20 million people around the world protested for black Americans.
right.
They protested on every continent.
Okay.
They protested in
Yes.
60 countries. It was Japanese people, Australian people,
Oh, yeah.
Russian people,
Beautiful.
South American people, all over the world
was a
protesting
movement.
for us.
Yes.
Protesting saying, y'all got to stop killing them black people.
Right.
But it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. What it does is show, I think it was that King Mel said it, what it goes to do is show how to protest
Exactly.
and show that the black struggle isn't only just the
Yeah.
black struggle. It's a struggle for freedom and for justice all around
Yes,
the
it
world.
really is.
Exactly. That's the point I was getting at.
Yeah.
But let me get to a few comments.
Okay.
Angie says yes, this shoot first, ask questions later has to change. I agree. And not only that, but the shoot first, ask questions later, and always acquit and justify.
Yes.
If you want to find out something that African American did, wait till he's shot by the police, because they'll go to his elementary school to find out if he ate crayons in kindergarten and post that before they will something positive or the positive things he's done. All lives can't matter until Black Lives Matter. Exactly. There is an endangered species list, and it's not saying that the bald eagle is more important than a dog. It's saying that bald eagles are being hunted to extinction, that they're being killed at a much larger rate.
So maybe we
and
should take
it's not
care of
as
these
many
bald
of them.
eagles.
But exactly. So I'm saying the same thing. There's not as many of us with 13% of the population.
Exactly.
So you killing us for no reason has to stop.
Okay.
Marshall and Lundy, Black Lives Matter for a long time, but it took the white officers, killing our black men more and more and getting away with it. It took us as blacks to really get tired of them getting away with it. Remember, our ancestors were killed for the color of their skin. It's sad that in 2020, for us to finally be heard as blacks or African Americans. The biggest thing is these, in my opinion, because now we have videos of it.
Right.
Initially,
Right.
we've been saying that we've been beaten and killed and slaughtered for no reason forever, but there was no video evidence. Now you see this man slowly being choked to death, screaming for his mother. You see another man being choked to death on the ground saying, "I can't breathe," 20-something times. You see a female being arrested and says, "Please don't kill me, please don't kill me," and she ends up in the cell dead, and there's no explanation whatsoever. You see a black lady in her house killed while she's asleep.
Right.
Come on.
So, but again,
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, so what's the controversy? I mean, it's obvious that we need some kind of group out there speaking on behalf of us, and Black Lives Matter is doing that. So what's the controversy? So let me talk about that a little bit. Just let me give some pretext, some context.
Go ahead.
So on Friday, just 2 days ago in New York City, there was a protest in the city in Manhattan about the ICE, the Federal Immigration Bureau, holding some people without documentation and holding them there. So Black Lives Matter was having a protest. Man, some 52-year-old woman drove her BMW through the protest. She drove 40, 50 miles, knocked over 6, 7 people, didn't say anything. She was released the next day. When I saw that, I went to the video. Now this is what's crazy. I went to the video online to watch the incident, and there was only one comment in the video of this woman driving through these people, and that comment was, that woman who drove through that crowd should be given a medal.
Now, see? Hold on.
We're gonna have to go to break.
Yep. But listen, Black Lives Matter, commercials matter. We'll be right back, though. Just letting you know.
Yo, what's up, y'all? I'm Dynasty Smith, and I'm your host for The Flavor, where we're going to be showcasing some of the hottest independent artist videos from all around. So y'all tune in every Wednesday at 8 o'clock by typing into your YouTube bar, TV 1061. So if you go into your YouTube search bar, type in TV 1061 to join us every Wednesday at 8 o'clock to check out some of the hottest new independent artist videos from all over. If you want to check us out on Facebook, just type in The Flavor and you can find us on Facebook. And yo, for you artists out there, lights, camera, action. Now the camera's on you. If you want to get your video aired on The Flavor, then you need to hit us up at 1061tv@gmail.com. Send us your YouTube link, and then we'll get back to you on details on how you can be on The Flavor.
Today's world exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom Inc. Reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives.
Hey man, listen, welcome back, man. We're about to get right back into the subject, you know what I mean? Before we get on break, King Trevor was talking about the video that happened in New York where the lady rode through a crowd, drove all the way over there just to drive through a crowd, and then when you looked on the video, there was one comment, and the lady said, and people said, that lady that drove through the crowd deserves a medal. Or a bullet, if you really want to ask me, because that was just disrespectful. Somebody should have went ahead and took care of that situation.
So that's my question. I'm gonna go shoot it to you, King Mel. But King Doc, that's my question. What's the controversy? Why are people mad that black people are saying Black Lives Matter? Like, why? What are they angry about?
Well, if you ever noticed, in America, we're seen as less than human. When Lincoln freed us, he had no intentions of us staying in America.
At all.
He freed us with the idea that we would be shipped back to Africa. So
Did not know that.
yeah, African Americans have never been considered equal. Even we're the only people in America who were voted on in the United States government as less than a full person.
Yeah, 3/5 of a person.
Exactly.
Right.
So,
It's still in
and
there.
that was for property rights. That was so we couldn't vote, but we could be considered property for tax purposes.
Did it?
I mean, if you really think about America and the experiments that have been done on us, we're not people in a lot of people's eyes. But more people now than ever are really saying that's complete nonsense. You know, okay, some people still hold on to those views, and we got to really take more people, and I'm not just saying black people, because there are a lot of white people and Asians and every other race that don't believe in racial inequality. But we got to get our government to reflect that.
Again,
Can I ask y'all a question?
what's up?
No.
Yeah, please. so here's my question. So obviously, it's some controversy. Like this lady who commented she deserves a medal for running the
Yeah.
people over.
Right.
Obviously, Black Lives Matter has some negative publicity. If you were the president of Black Lives Matter, what would you do to change the image of Black Lives Matter? Or would you do anything?
See, that's the thing about other races. The black race always has to change something.
Exactly.
If they don't like our hair,
Exactly.
we got to change
Change
it.
it.
Right.
If we don't like our clothes, I think we ought to change it. If they don't like our style, we need to change. But guess what? White America are now copying our style.
Now.
They been.
You know,
They've
they
been
are
doing-
copying.
Oh, no, it's more
They are
open now.
copying our style. So there's
it's
no
more
way in the
open now.
world I would change anything. I would increase, and I would increase it in strength, in volume, and I would put more out and let the black public know more. And so when the black people know more, then we gain more control
And then
of
we-
ourselves. And if we control our own destiny first,
Yeah.
before we worry about another race. See, one thing about us, we worry about.
What they thinking about?
What they
us.
think about it. Yeah, we
if
always have to
about
worry
stuff
about
we
it.
shouldn't worry about.
Exactly.
If we worry about us and put more emphasis on us, then I think we'll have a better chance of taking that 3.5% of ourselves and make it a whole. Because this man is 100%, I'm 100%, you, King Doc, Felix, all of us are 100% of something. And that's what we need to look at ourselves as.
And I got to tell you, man, listen, this is why I'm always saying, look, I know we all grew up in eras where we as black people, we did a lot of things that probably degraded the way people look at us. We've all been guilty of being stupid sometime. We've all done stupid things in our lives. But at this point in time, I just believe that it's time to change the narrative. No, seriously, because look, I'm going to show you something. We always talking about patronizing black-owned businesses, right? We are how do I like to say it? We have been, conditioned to support other businesses while we don't support our own. And I'll show you something. I have nothing against Asian or Chinese restaurants, right?
Right.
But in the Chinese, in the black community, you can find Chinese restaurants all over the place, right? If you go to a Chinese community here, you're
find
not
the
going
soul
to
food.
find a soul food or a mom and pop's restaurant, right? Where their dollar circulates at least 7 times through their community, ours won't stay in our community 10 seconds because everything that we want to purchase is outside of the community, right? Now, with me working in the mall at a shop that's black owned and we sell a lot of natural things, in there, I tell people all the time, the most important thing, no matter what you see in this store, the most important thing is around that table right there, and those are books. Educate yourself. You pick up these books, you learn how to make these remedies or whatever that's in there, you can sell them in the community. And I go further with that to say this here. Remember the lady that used to, or the people that used to sell, like some people call them honey drippers, some people call them squeeze cups, the frozen Kool-Aid in the cup, you flip it upside down, those were kids, right? People made money like that because somebody's parents were too lazy to put sugar, Kool-Aid in a gallon pitcher and put it in a plastic cup and freeze it in the freezer that they're paying the bill for. That's how they made money, off of sheer laziness.
Well,
and if we continue to be that lazy, then this is what's going to happen. We're going to keep having to spend money outside of our community.
The neighborhood candy lady, I don't think it was done out of laziness.
No, I'm not. No, what I'm
ingenuity.
saying is not the neighborhood candy lady. What I'm saying is that person was able to make money because the people, the kids whose parents were at home, were too lazy to take and make a gallon of Kool-Aid and freeze it
I understand.
themselves.
I understand that. I'm just disagreeing.
Oh.
And that I don't think that the parents who didn't make the frozen Kool-Aid was necessarily lazy. I just think that the neighborhood candy lady saw a need for it and did it. But that's how
Supply
almost
and
everything,
demand.
exactly.
Supply and
That's how
demand.
almost everything was. I don't go and do things that are easy just because it's there, even though it may be. Like, we call them Huckabucks.
Okay.
But I didn't make Huckabucks at the house.
Yeah.
And I knew it was just Kool-Aid, but
Yeah.
why? When I could go to the candy lady.
But
But I want to
that's
get
my
to some of the
go ahead.
comments. Angie says, it
Hey,
takes us
Angie.
voting the right people in the state attorney general office and the judges, hence what happened in Kentucky. I thought the state attorney general was appointed, but I may be wrong with that. Show enough, hey, show enough, trying to get Black Lives Matters to get into the political bracket. Marcus Dion Smith, Greensboro,
You said Shonuff said that about the political bracket?
Greensboro, North Carolina, September 8th, 2018. Do your thing, bruh. Marshall and Lundy says, let's see how much Black Lives Matter when we take it all blue in the runoff. Say that, Ossoff and our boy, Warnock. Angie says, the problem is you have some people who vandalize and use Black Lives Matter as a scapegoat.
Yeah.
They even showed the proof, but people will believe what they want. It's really sad. I feel you on that one because anyway, I'll comment later. Because we don't have as many black-owned businesses. We were held back from housing and entrepreneurship. Jim Crow laws did what the white people wanted, keep us poor, and when we did flourish, they burned it down. Black Wall Street.
Yeah, exactly. So again,
I'm not disagreeing with any of that,
again,
Angie.
we
I
were
agree
talking about.
wholeheartedly.
Remember, we were talking about those 19 families that did that, that bought that 97 acres of land, right, to build a safe community for black people to live in. This is the mentality that I want for our people to have. But here's the problem with that too. Remember it was like a year and a half, 2 years ago, right? When the guy that owns Quality Control Records, right? They had a stripper bowl. This man threw $500,000 at a stripper bowl. And my thing was, you threw $500,000 at some strippers. That mentality has to change because with that, you and a bunch of other well-to-do black people, right, could have put that money into buying land and developing it into black-owned businesses and housing structures and everything else. It takes somebody to have the mental state to say, okay, you know what? I'm moving on away from this type of lifestyle. Glorifying a woman being a stripper and everything. Look, you do what you want to do with your body, right? That is on you. That you do what you want to do with your money, that is on you. But to see that right there, $500,000 being thrown at strippers while we had 19 families purchase 97 acres of land, you know that $500,000 could have purchased way more?
Well, you know, my feeling about what you said, like earlier, you said Chinese restaurants and Chinese people move into black neighborhoods and open restaurants and open hair stores and make
Yes.
money off of us.
Yeah.
And then you questioned, rhetorically, I guess, why don't black people go into Chinese neighborhoods and build soul food restaurants? To me, it's a similar thing when you talk about quality control, investing millions of dollars into strippers. My belief is that we as black people, black Americans in particular, we need to come up with something positive in order to put into the cultural milieu so that we can go into Chinese restaurants and open some kind of business. It doesn't have to be a soul food restaurant, but some kind of business selling something positive,
And
some
that's the
positive
thing.
reflection
And to
of what we
piggyback-
are
right.
as black Americans.
To piggyback,
That's my feeling.
To piggyback off what you said, and even what King Mel is saying, it takes a special kind of person, just like it takes a special kind of man to take $3 million and throw it at a bunch of strippers. He's special. You understand what I'm saying? So it takes another special kind of man, you know, to want to put back into his community. And we had this topic, I guess, about
A couple months ago.
About leaving here and leaving something behind. You know, what was it? I can't remember.
Just investing in black communities.
Yes, generational wealth and patronizing.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Generational wealth. And generational wealth, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that, well, he's my brother, I'll leave him that. He can be your friend, or he can be a coworker, just somebody
100%.
that you can leave generational wealth to put back into the black community. And it takes a special kind of person to do that, because a man with $3 million is a selfish man, a man, just like the guy that gave the Morehouse student paid for their college education. That's a special brother.
Oh, yeah.
Special kind of
Show Enough says Anglo-Saxons in America are jealous of Europeans, of all European, because they are not pure in the blood. Us as black people own our weakest flaws, lack of identity, and found culture with unity communication. Those who try to mimic only pick up the wackiness. Wackiness. I don't know exactly what that is, wackiness, but I'm not even going to. Show Enough, you're a strong, opinionated person. I ain't mad at you. Angie says, we don't have generational wealth like white people. Y'all just touched on that. So we go on playing catch up. We need to teach our children and so on to continue to build our wealth.
Exactly.
I agree, but like you were stating, when we do get wealth, then what are we? We have been socially engineered to value things that really have no value.
Exactly.
Gold chains and certain name brands and things like that. That's cool if that's what you want to do. I'm not going to try to tell you how to spend your money, but create your own brand. Like, why is what's T.I.'s clothing?
A coup.
A coup.
A king of oneself.
Why is a coup not as big as Gucci? Why is Master P's shoe line not as big as Nike or something to that effect? We have to develop things of that nature. We have to keep our monies involved in making our community and making our things better. Because other people are stealing our ideas or using our ideas to become extremely wealthy.
Buying our ideas.
They are
Oh,
doing
yes.
that. They are doing
I
that.
was told
They're buying.
McDonald's was started by
You're right.
a couple
They
of
are
African
buying,
American men.
they are
ideas,
stealing,
yeah.
and we are going to break, but we'll be right back. Promise you that.
We gonna stick with this?
Good afternoon. I'm Lieutenant Elmer Horn with Douglas County Sheriff's Office, and we're here at one of our communities, and Sheriff Pounds is here with us. And Sheriff Pounds is very involved in his communities, and he come out. We brought out our grill and our smoker so we can come out and help cook for this community. And Sheriff Pounds himself has come out and helped cook with us, and he's here to cook and help these folks today.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is one of the programs that I call Taking My Community Back. If you don't get out there and get involved in your community, you ain't gonna be able to get it back. And the sad part about it, we losing our young men at such a pace that it's unreal. We got to come up with something that will help us with these children. Got to. So this is what I'm doing. I love it. I'm out here in the sun. It's hot, but like I said earlier, we're gonna do these until we get that gap between law enforcement and the community bridge. We're gonna bridge that gap because we're gonna get out of here, we're gonna shake hands, we're gonna find out if they got any kind of problem we can assist them with, and invite them to the sheriff's office and come to the roll call. Just come see what's going on at the office. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Thank you, Sheriff Pounds. And like I said, this is just one of many events that we bring this grill out to help with our communities and get involved.
Listen, we are live. The Talk Show Kings are back, man.
Y'all didn't know before. You're gonna learn today.
The thing about coronavirus is it doesn't care if you're black or white.
It doesn't.
It does not care if you're rich or poor. It does not exclude if you're a Republican or a Democrat.
I'm taking it as in it becoming a hostile environment
I couldn't even go to the restroom. I would crawl to the restroom and hold the walls to not fall off of the restroom. I couldn't stand up to get in my bed because I seriously thought I was dying.
Hey, what's going on? Listen, we are back. But before we jump right back into this right here, listen. I got some information for you. First of all, I want to tell you that you can give us a call and interact with us at 770-485-7724. Go ahead and interact with the Kings, interact with the Divas, interact with whoever you want to interact with, but make sure you interact. That's what matters the most, right? Then we got on Wednesday. We have the Flavor at 8 p.m. Flavor. Ooh, you know how I feel about that right there. The Flavor be jumping, man, but y'all got to go ahead and tune in and check it out for all the best music and the new music that's coming out, right? Then we got the playlist. The playlist going to have you in your vibe. The playlist comes on at 9:30 p.m. That vibe right there, if you want to be groove or dance around the house with your wife or your girlfriend, go ahead and tune into the playlist, man. Then on Thursday, you know what I be talking about. I be loving it. That's the Bedroom Chronicles. There's some freakish stuff going in the bedroom. go ahead and tune in. There's some weird stuff going in the bedroom too. I'm just letting you know, it's just crazy.
She just conversing.
Bedroom Chronicles.
Super weird.
Then we got on Saturday, man, we got the conversation. Shoot, everybody always talking. Since you're always talking, you may well join the conversation, man.
Hey,
go ahead and put your 2 cents in, even though it's a tax-free conversation. You feel me? Go ahead on with that. Then on Sunday, you know what I'm saying, at 4:30 p.m., listen. We got the beautiful, wonderful Talk Show Divas. Hey. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully one day we're going to be able to collab with them ladies right there, man. We're going to bring a whole conversation to the table and y'all going to be able to interact with us and tell us what you think, and we loving it. But then, last but not least, you know who it is, man.
The King.
You know what I'm saying? It's the King. Because can't nobody do it like the King.
Can't nobody sing like any King.
You want my spot flash? You want my spot? Well, you ain't going to get it because you ain't got it. That's what I'm talking about, man. The Talk Show King, man. Oh, your boy King Mel, but enough of the comedy, man. Let's jump right back into it. King Trevor, what you got to say about what we was talking about, man?
So you were talking about this cat who invested $3 million in the stripper bowl.
Yeah.
And I made a comment saying that it would be good if we as black people could come up with something creative, useful, constructive, and put it into the market.
Exactly.
But if some brother got $3 million to throw at a stripper bowl, I ain't mad at him. If this is what we doing in our community to make money, I'm not mad at it. I have nothing negative to say because them strippers need money, baby mamas need money, babies need money. I'm not mad at that. My point being, we as black people should invest in whatever kind of entrepreneurship we can invest in. We should perfect whatever we get involved in to its highest degree and then maybe try to sell it on a national and then international
What
stage.
about investing into the black community?
Exactly.
If Black Lives have said anything to us, it has opened a main screen to us to help ourselves. Stop waiting on public housing. Stop waiting on public assistance. Stop waiting on this and waiting on that. Stop going on spending your money on Cash 3 and playing the lotto. You know, hoping for things and wishing for dreams that may not ever come. But why not help ourselves?
It's a problem because it goes like this here for me, man. Listen, you had $500,000 to throw at a stripper. We had, you said James Harden, I believe you said, threw $1 million at a stripper. Listen, man, all that's fine and dandy if that's what you want to do, but to continue to degrade the community, that's what they see us as. You know what I'm saying? They look at this, they see it, and they say, look at these idiots. They threw $500,000 at a stripper bowl, at a stripper, right?
Don't cut it. We got kicked off.
Okay.
I don't think I'm gonna be
Listen,
extremely broke, man.
but man, we got to cut these in?
Cut the show?
Yeah, it kicked us off, so I'm gonna have to get back on.
Oh, yeah.
So you saying you're gonna cut for a minute and then fix
Well,
it?
it dropped us, man. So I'm gonna have to get back on the stream. I don't think I'm gonna be able to stream the Roku.
Okay, but are we gonna do Facebook and YouTube?
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, no, the whole stream.
Pretty much what he's saying, that's the show.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we're done for today.